Although legalization didn't have any impact on the number of women dying, it did fix one problem. I've only seen one case since legalization where there was an attempt made to dump the body. This, sadly, was a problem prior to legalization. This is Christina with the Sisyphean Journal, and today is January 6th. It was January 6th of 1905 when two farmers were out hunting near railroad tracks outside Dunning, Illinois. They stumbled across the still warm body of a young woman lying beside the railroad tracks. She wasn't dressed for the cold. She was wearing a shirtwaist, which is the type of blouse women wore at the time, a skirt too big for her, shoes too big for her, and just a shawl and a fascinator to keep off the cold. The hunters put the body in a wagon and took it to the morgue, and there they notified the police. Now, the autopsy concluded that the woman had not been dead long, and the coroner's physician wasn't quite sure whether this young woman had died of exposure from being out in the cold so scantily clad, or whether she had bled to death because she had recently been pregnant and had either given birth or undergone an abortion. And because of footprints near the scene, police believed that a man might have walked the young woman to the ditch and then abandoned her there, either before or after she died. News went out about the unidentified woman. A couple of people came forward thinking that they might know who she was. No dice. One woman was fortunately located alive. Another woman just wasn't the dead woman. But a city councilman, a former county commissioner, came forward and he identified the body. He said that it was the body of his 21-year-old servant, Ida Viero. She had left the house on January 1st, saying that she was going to go visit her parents. Now, upon hearing that the dead woman might be her sister, some of Ida's relatives also went to the morgue. Supposedly, two of her brothers-in-law just fainted away at the sight of her body. One sister wasn't sure, but the other sister did verify the former county commissioner's identity of the young woman as Ida. But, strangely enough, the clothing the body was dressed in did not belong to Ida. Ida, when she had left the Allen residence, was wearing a black silk dress, tan coat, black hat and veil, and a set of furs. None of these were found on her. So she was identified finally by her employer and her family on January 29th. She was buried on the 31st while police continued the investigation. Now, people who knew Ida told the police that she was engaged to a jockey named Patrick Murphy. Now, at the time of Ida's disappearance, he was in California working. In Ida's rooms at the Allen home, they found 24 letters that he had sent her while he was away. He addressed her as my dear wife and my dear sweetheart and signed them your true love forever. He sent her a Christmas gift. The last letter from him arrived just 2 days before Ida's death. Eventually, they concluded that she had died from an abortion perpetrated by a midwife named, Amelia. Sorry, I'm bad with Polish last names, Mrs. M, and her husband Joseph. They ran an unlicensed hospital. They were indicted in Ida's death. Another midwife, Amelia Becker, was arrested and charged with an accessory, and actually the police exhumed Ida's body on April 29th so that Mrs. Becker could look and verify that the dead woman was indeed the young woman that she had witnessed undergoing an abortion and then dying at the M's unlicensed hospital. Police raided the hospital. They arrested a servant girl as an accessory, and they found a woman there who was evidently recovering from an abortion and transferred her to another hospital. But strangely enough, news coverage totally ends at this point. I have no idea what happened with the case beyond that. The only thing I've been able to determine is that Mrs. M, a German native, died January 10th, 1911, at the age of 45 under suspicious circumstances. Like, share, subscribe so I can go to Chicago, find out how they linked Ida to this couple and why nobody was ever held accountable for her death, as appears to be the case.